Loyalty is not always betrayed with a loud announcement. Often it hides in subtle cracks, in behaviors that seem harmless but carry deeper truths. A man who cannot stay faithful rarely admits it openly. Instead, it leaks through the way he treats you, others, and even himself. Here's a shocking fact from relationship psychology. Research has shown that nearly half of men who cheated on their partner admitted they never planned to. It just happened. What does this tell us? That disloyalty doesn't always begin with intent, but with unnoticed patterns, unresolved shadows, and weak boundaries. Carl Jung once said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." Many men who struggle with loyalty are being unconsciously driven by wounds, shadows, or unmet desires. But for you, recognizing these hidden signs early is a way to protect your heart before it's too late. Today we are going to talk about the hidden signs that show he is not a loyal man. Stay until the end of the video, because the last sign might shock you. It is one of the clearest red flags that women tend to ignore until it's already too late. So, let's dive in. Sign 1. He has a double life when it comes to attention. A man who is truly loyal doesn't crave constant validation outside the relationship. But if you notice he thrives on attention from other women, whether on social media, at work, or in casual conversations, that is a hidden sign. Psychologists call this validation addiction. When someone can't feel secure unless they're admired by many, loyalty becomes fragile. Carl Jung spoke about the persona, the mask we show the world. A man who needs constant admiration is addicted to polishing his mask. He may look charming, confident, and social, but deep down, his shadow is screaming for approval. And when someone's shadow controls them, loyalty is always at risk. The danger is that this hunger for external validation never ends. Today it may be harmless compliments. Tomorrow it may be deeper connections. The pattern is always escalation. If you sense that his sense of self-worth is built more on external admiration than internal stability, he is not prepared to commit his loyalty to just one person. Sign 2. He dismisses your feelings instead of respecting them. Loyalty is not just about bodies, it's about emotional commitment. If he constantly invalidates your concerns, calls you too sensitive, or flips the blame back on you whenever you question his behavior, you need to pay attention. A study in social psychology shows that people who gaslight or dismiss their partner's feelings are more likely to cross boundaries in the future. Why? Because they feel entitled. When a man can't respect your emotional reality, he's already breaking loyalty at an emotional level. And emotional betrayal often comes before physical betrayal. The truth is, dismissing your feelings isn't a small habit. It's a sign of deeper disregard. A man who shuts down your emotions is essentially telling you, "My world matters more than yours." Over time, this creates emotional distance and opens the door for him to seek connection elsewhere. Loyalty cannot grow in soil where your feelings are constantly denied. Sign 3. He keeps his life in compartments. If his phone is always on silent, if you feel he hides parts of his world from you, or if you notice he behaves differently with different groups of people, this is not just privacy, it's compartmentalization. There's a difference between privacy and secrecy. Privacy protects individuality. Secrecy protects lies. Carl Jung believed that what a person hides often holds more power than what they show. If his life feels like a puzzle where pieces never connect, it's not just you being suspicious. It's him managing multiple worlds to avoid accountability. Compartmentalization is often the first step toward disloyalty because it creates space for dishonesty. The more corners of his life you're not allowed to see, the more room he has to plant seeds of betrayal. If you always feel like an outsider in parts of his world, chances are those hidden corners are where loyalty is being tested or already broken. Sign 4. He has no respect for other people's relationships. Watch how he behaves around others. If he casually flirts with married women, makes jokes about cheating, or entertains innocent conversations with boundaries crossed, this is a strong red flag. A man who does not honor other people's commitments cannot be trusted to honor his own. Psychologists call this moral disengagement, the ability to detach from the consequences of one's actions. When someone normalizes disloyalty in others, they're more likely to justify it in themselves. Remember, loyalty is not situational. It's a value. If he excuses infidelity in his friends or even admires men who get away with it, it shows his moral compass is already compromised. It's only a matter of time before those same excuses become the ones he uses for himself. His respect for loyalty must be consistent, not just when it benefits him. Sign 5. He cannot handle solitude. Loyal men are grounded in themselves. Disloyal men are terrified of being alone. If he constantly needs distraction, parties, new people, or the thrill of attention, that restless energy often translates into wandering eyes and wandering actions. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, the process of becoming whole by facing oneself. A man who cannot sit with himself without needing external stimulation will often fill that void with whoever gives him attention in the moment. And that makes loyalty unstable. Solitude tests integrity. A man who is comfortable in his own company will not go looking for attention elsewhere. But a man who fears silence will always chase noise, and often that noise comes in the form of other women. If he cannot embrace stillness, his loyalty will always be conditional on distraction. Sign 6. He shows patterns of dishonesty, even in small things. Pay attention to the little lies. If he constantly lies about where he was, hides small details, or twists stories for convenience, that is not just about protecting his ego. It's training his mind to detach truth from accountability. Behavioral research shows that lying in small matters increases the likelihood of lying in bigger ones. Why? Because each lie lowers the internal discomfort, what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. Over time, lying feels easier. And when lying feels easy, betrayal becomes just another step. The truth is, loyalty is built on trust, and trust is built on honesty. When he makes dishonesty a habit, even in trivial matters, he is practicing the very skill that allows betrayal to grow. You should never ignore small lies, because small lies are rehearsals for bigger ones. Sign 7. He has no sense of responsibility for his mistakes. This is one of the biggest red flags, and the one many women overlook. If he blames the world, his past, or even you for every mistake, he is showing you his inability to own his actions. And without responsibility, there can be no loyalty. Carl Jung wrote about the shadow, the darker parts of our psyche we deny. A man who refuses responsibility is letting his shadow control him. He will always find someone else to carry the blame. And when betrayal happens, he won't admit it or work to rebuild trust. He will make it your fault. This is why recognizing this sign early is crucial. Blame shifting is dangerous because it protects the ego at the cost of the relationship. Instead of saying, "I was wrong and I need to fix it," he says, "You're overreacting," or "It's not my fault." Over time, this not only erodes trust but also traps you in a cycle of guilt for mistakes you didn't even make. If he cannot be accountable for small wrongs, he will never be accountable for bigger betrayals. Loyalty is not about the grand gestures. It's about the everyday choices a man makes when no one is watching. The small lies, the constant need for validation, the lack of responsibility. They are the hidden cracks that eventually shatter trust. If you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think is the most important sign of loyalty in a relationship? Share your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. See you in the next video.